Hi everyone, it's Lillian here from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada, where it is rather blustery and cloudy today, but at least it's not raining, which we've had for a few days. Happy belated Canada Day, and I'm so glad you're with me for a Create With Me. Today we're going to make a fun fold card, and let me just put you down to my desk, turn you down to my desk, and we will get started. All right, so let's get, there we go. All right, hi, I see people jumping on board. This is excellent, I'm so glad. Just before we get started, I wanted to mention that it's a new month, so a new promotion. And the promotion for this month is bonus days, and we've had this the last few years. So for every $60 in merchandise before shipping and handling and GST you spend in July, you earn our $6 bonus coupon that will be emailed to you, and you can use it in August. Well, the earning period is July 1st to August 3rd, and then you can spend the bonus coupons August 4th to the 31st. So what they do is they send, Stampin' Up! Sends you a email with your bonus coupon code, and it's extremely important that you do not lose that, because there's no way of redeeming it, so or of recovering it. I have no access to it or anything like that, so do hang on to that email if you place an order in July up to August 3rd. It's great to have that extra money. And what's coming out August 4th is the new mini catalog. It's hard to talk about a new mini catalog when we've just got the new annual catalog, but I have seen the mini catalog online, and it's a good one. And what Stampin' Up! Has done is change their catalog years, I guess. So the mini catalog is coming out a month earlier than usual, so that you can start your holiday crafting a little bit early. They've also made the annual catalog just a few pages smaller, but the mini catalog is a few pages larger. So it's all evening out, and it's a good one, so keep your eyes posted. I have selected, you should be getting one in the mail sometime this month, and if not, let me know. If you're shopping from my online store, you would go here and click on Shop Now, and please use the hostess code, this one here, it's the current one, if your order is less than $200. If it's more $200 or more, you get your hostess benefits, so don't worry about that. And the nice thing about ordering online is that it gets shipped right to your doorstep. Alrighty, let's get to today's card. So I suggested that you have some cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 3 3/4 and 9 1/4 inches. So let's just fold that up right now. So it is a fancy fold, and it's not a brand new one, but there's a little bit of a new twist to it. And at the end, I'm going to show you some other color combinations. So that's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 3 3/4 by 9 1/4. Then I chose some designer paper. Now the designer paper is going to fit, it's going to have a border top and bottom, but not here, and there's a reason for that. Now when I chose the designer paper, I actually started with the designer paper and then went from there, which is often how I do it. I decided to use the Peony Garden Designer Paper because I haven't used it yet, and it is so gorgeous. So the colors that go with it are basic gray, gray granite, petal pink, and whisper white. Of course you can add other colors. So here's the front and backs of the different ones. So I brought in some swatches, because when I made this, then I ended up with strips like this. So I thought, okay, I think I want a basic gray background, and I started playing around. I'll come back to that one. Did I want to go with this or with this? Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Or did I want to go with this? This is the gray granite. Still looks nice on that. Or the petal pink. Decisions, decisions, right? All look so nice. And I just played around. This was really striking too. Until I thought, well, I really can't make a wrong decision here. And I went with this one here, which the back is like that. So this is the designer paper I'm going to use. And then what you need, let me just move that out of the way before I send it flying. You need 2 of the same shape that's going to coordinate. One in white and one in a contrasting color. So I chose this. So these 2 colors, I'm going to work with that. I'm using ovals today, but you could use circles, you could use squares, just as you could use rectangles. I'm going to show you a card at the end where I use the stitch nested dies. It doesn't matter, but you just need 2 different colors, white and a contrasting color. Then you also need some coordinating cardstock that is 4 by either 1/2 or 3/4, and this is what's going to happen with that. It's going to be glued under here so that when your card is closed, it actually overhangs a little bit. So let's glue that together right now while we've got it here. Bring in my silicone craft mat. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got this going the right way. The 4 inches is this way, the 3 3/4 is this way. It should fit perfectly. Going to flip that over and just run a bit of adhesive down here. Like that. And then what I like to do is put this down and bring my paper to it. For me, my eyes work better this way. It really doesn't matter. And again, it wouldn't matter what adhesive you use either. So you just want a bit of an overhang, like that. And while I've got that, why don't I just glue it to the front of the card, and then we'll have that part done. Now, this is going to overhang a bit, so I'm just going to put a couple of dots right on the edge, right next to the designer paper, because I don't want the glue to be on the part that's going to overhang. So let's pick that up, and when I fasten it down, it's going to go right to the fold with an equal border top and bottom, or as equal as my eyes can make it. Okay, that's going to be just fine like that. So now we've got the basic card, and this is going to cover any of that overhang. This is a very easy card. So we've got that part done. Yikes, I think my adhesive came apart there. Then the other pieces of paper that we're using, this is 1/2 by 3 inches, and you need one in white and one in, I chose to use the gray granite again, and this is where we're going to do our stamping, so I'm just going to keep that to the side. I'll keep that sticky note on it, and then scraps for die cutting if you want. So this is basically what's going to happen here. I'm going to stamp on this and use my dimensionals to put it down with some overhang. Then I'm going to take this and shadow it behind it, right about like that. And I think I could glue this down anytime, so I'll do that right now. Now remember, we don't want glue here because we want to be able to open this part of the card. So I'm going to position it where I want it, flip it over, keeping it in roughly that position, and just add adhesive to this end here. And put that in place. Like that. And while I've got this, I'm going to bring in my innards. So this is Whisper White, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. It's going to be the inside, and then I had some scrap of this, so I think I'm going to fasten that down there. I'll put some adhesive on that as well. I might add a stamp later on, so I maybe shouldn't glue it down just yet. Now that I think about it, but I've got that piece there, and that's what's going to go on the inside when I'm ready. All right, now we're ready to work on this. So basically what that means, we're ready to work on this. So what the stamp set I'm using is photopolymer. Let's get rid of some of my little sticky notes here. And it is, where is it? I'm going to use Field of Flowers, just because I thought it went. I don't have the Peony stamp set that goes with the paper, but you could use anything else, of course. And I wanted something with a narrow sentiment because I want to be able to stamp the sentiment on this little piece of paper here. So I could have used other things. I could have used the sentiment from here, the sentiments from here. These are nice and narrow. The sentiments from here are great. And then I will also show you some other ideas, and you can actually choose a different size to stamp your sentiment on, but I was just sticking with that. Okay, so I'm going to again stick with the colors that are in the designer paper. So I do a lot of my designing right from designer paper. I'm going to ink up the stamp set, or the flower, pardon me, the flower image. I'm going to put it down and let it have a moment so that the ink transfers. You can almost see it do that. And there it goes. Oh, so pretty. Then I don't think I'm using this again. I'm going to close it up for safety reasons. And I'm going to bring in the basic gray, which is the card base. And I'm going to do the leaves in that. We're artists, right? We can make leaves whatever color we want. So I'm going to bring in that, and I'm actually just going to twist this a bit because I just find that easier. And put the stems so they're coming from the flower. I think I twisted the flower when I stamped it. Okay, so we will have a twisted stem. There we go. Looks good. Get that out of the way. And now I want to add just... there's a little dragonfly here, and I think that adds interest. So what I did when I was practicing, I used when I was practicing, I used gray granite. I don't know why I used basic gray. Anyway, I used basic gray for that. Well, I'll switch it up. So I could use the gray granite here for the dragonfly, or I could use Seaside Spray. What do you think I should do? Seaside Spray or gray granite for the dragonfly? Well, I've got a dark one here. Should I maybe try this just to see the variation? Let's see. Okay, which do you like? Do you like the pop of color or sticking with that? And you'll be able to see better when I put it on the card, so we will check that out too. And I think I might want to put the dragonfly on the inside, but we'll finish the outside first. So let's bring the card back in, and we can get rid of the Stampin' Pierce mat. There we go. So do I like it? Whoops, that's supposed to be underneath. Like that? Or do I like it with the Seaside Spray? Which way should I go? You tell me. I see somebody saying Seaside Spray. Let's go with the Seaside Spray. And then I just did some die cuts. You can use whatever you want. I did a selection here so that we could play around a little bit. And I thought these would look nice, maybe. Now this is the gray granite again, and some vellum. I might be doing overkill. Then I could add this. These die cuts are from the Forever Flourishing, but you could use die cuts or punches from wherever. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Okay, so I will stick those down. That's nice, they slid right off. Okay, we'll open the card up. Seem to be all butterfingers today, but then I am most days, aren't I? So that's all right. So what did you guys do for Canada Day yesterday? It was pouring rain here all day, plus with all of the COVID restrictions, it was a pretty quiet day, although as I was falling asleep, I heard someone setting off fireworks. I don't think it was the city of Spruce Grove, because I think they were suggesting you go virtual. But I think somebody was. And then we had some friends invite us out for supper, so that was kind of nice. Oh, getting all sticky. Okay, now, yeah, I'll add some of this. I'm not worrying about what it's going to look like because my stamped image is going to cover that over. Like that. I don't think I need that one. It was just there in case. Now, figure out the positioning of this. Like that. And again, I only want the dimensionals here. So I'm going to flip it over, bring in my dimensionals. Boy, I've got really sticky fingers here. So I can even see here, can line it up just upside down. I think I'll put one more on there. Peel those off. Do you see how this is coming together? The words would totally be optional, of course, but I am going to show the words. Oh, I stuck it down in the glue. That wasn't very smart. Oh well, we'll add some glitter there if we have to, or cover it over with the words. So that looks pretty good. Now, what's going to happen with these pieces here? I'm going to stamp the greeting on here. So let's just tuck that away and bring my pad in again. And the words, I thought I had the words mounted, but I guess I didn't. I guess I'll go thinking of you. Is thinking of you. There it is right there. I'll get out my block. And I am going to use basic gray for that, just because it's a nice strong color. Now this is a very narrow little stamp, and I might get my head in here trying to be exact and get it straight. And because it's narrow, normally we say don't wiggle, but I find sometimes with my narrow ones I have to just go back and forth gently. There we go. So we've got that. Let's close this up. So now what I'm going to do is just offset it with this ever so slightly. I'm going to just throw a bit of adhesive on here, and so I've tried to make the bottom and the right hand side approximately the same. So what's going to happen with this is it's just going to go right about here, I think. So I'm going to want dimensionals behind here, but not here. Otherwise it would look all wonky. So I will put a bit of adhesive behind here and then bring in my dimensionals and add one here. Oh, there we go. And let's figure out the placement. Yeah, I think I want it to come down here actually. Thinking of you. Now there's your basic card, but you know, there's always Wink of Stella, and I love my Wink of Stella, so I think I will add a bit of Wink of Stella to the dragonfly. For those of you who aren't familiar with Wink of Stella, it is basically a glitter pen. It's like a paintbrush, and you just paint it on. When you get it, there's a black band here, and you have to take that band off and then fasten things together, and then it says push, and you're gently going to push until and give it a shake, because that's what the glitter is mixing with the liquid, but then you don't have to push again likely. Oh, and you know what, I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on the flower, just here, there. I'm not very good at this. Some of you are so much better. When you come to my classes, you put me to shame, but I can always go back and make it all Wink of Stella if I want. Now, the other thing that we have that goes beautifully with that paper, I buried it somewhere here, are these jewels called Elegant Faceted Gems. So they look beautiful with that, and I don't know if we need a whole lot, and I'm not sure what color. So what I often do is just sort of walk my paper around, and I think I like the petal pink. Maybe one right there. Maybe I just have to use my embellishments. I love them. Or do I want it over here? No, I think I like it here. You can do whatever you want. So now we're all finished. Just have to touch up the inside. So we've got this much done for the inside, and I am going to add one little dragonfly, and rather than clean it, I am going to go with Seaside Spray and add that in. Ooh, I think I'll put them on this side. Go like that. I could have put one here, right? Should I try it? Why not? There we go. And I might add a third. I don't know. I will decide that later. So just fasten this in. Actually, I'm not going to, because I like to stamp my words before I fasten it in, but there is the card. So when you get it, it looks like this. When you open it up, you've got it like that. And you could always put a little pocket here or here if you wanted to add a gift card. So that's that card. Let me show you this card done in some other ways. So the inspiration for that card, I made this card with the Country Club designer paper that was in the last mini catalog, and this is the same design, right? So I've got, this is the same, even the same size. Here I use this stitch nested dies, and I use the Rooted in Nature for here. So this would be a great masculine one. I used a white card base with a bit of black here, and then inside was like that. Whoops. And let me show you one that I'm working on. I had hoped to have it finished for you, but I didn't. This one here is going to be using the Playful Pets, and it's circles. So you can see it doesn't matter what shape you use. I have some other shapes here. If you were wanting to use, say, squares, sticky fingers. Let's bring this in, it rather clashes. I could have put the squares, you know, like that or like that. So the rectangles would work. So you can use whatever shape you have, whether you have a punch or you're just cutting or whatever. But I'm getting ready to do a Playful Pets one too. So I will show you that when it is finished. Let me show you another Playful Pets one I just made last night. Don't know if you've seen it, but it's the cutest set. So it has the little dies that cut out the paw prints, and I just made this one last night. But look what happens. So here's what's left on my cutting plate. I know, a very old, beat up cutting plate, but look what's left. And you've got these little hearts. But if you wanted to keep those intact and use them on a project, what you could do is use press and seal, you know, the like a saran wrap, but it's press and seal. Press it down, it would hold everything in place. Peel it off, put little bits of glue on the back, and then you could put, wouldn't that look neat on a black or something like that? So there's lots of potential there. I am having some fun with the Pampered Pets, and I know that a lot of you are enjoying that set too, but this was just what I made last night in the rain, and then this is what's going to happen with this one here. So thank you so much for joining me. Have fun, and when you make your card like that with this design, please post it and share it. I love to see what you come up with. If you need help knowing how to post, contact me and I can help talk you through it. So have some fun, take care, and thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.